हेलो फ्रेंड्स। आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे वेस्ट वाटर जनरेशन सिनेरियो एंड वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस के बारे में। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। सबसे पहले व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय वेस्ट वाटर? वेस्ट वाटर क्या है? सो वेस्ट वाटर वो वाटर होता है दैट इज जनरेटेड आफ्टर द यूज ऑफ फ्रेश वाटर, रो वाटर, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर और सेलाइन वाटर। ओके, फ्रेश वाटर, रो वाटर, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर और सेलाइन वाटर का डिफरेंट एप्लीकेशन होने के बाद में जो वाटर बाहर निकलता है या डिस्चार्ज करते हैं उसी को वेस्ट वाटर कहते हैं। सो वेस्ट वाटर इज polluted form of water generated from the rainwater runoff and human activities. It is also known as a sewage. Okay, so this is the important point. The waste water is also known as sewage water, and sometimes the wastewater treatment process is also known as a sewage treatment process. Okay, so sewage is actually a wastewater that is released from the houses, from the hospitals, from the industries, offices, and other sources. Okay, so wastewater categorized in many categories like domestic sewage or domestic wastewater that is released from or discharged from the houses, industrial sewage released from the or discharged from the industries, and storm sewage or storm water that is due to the runoff of the rainwater. So, as we know, due to the rise in population, due to the development activities or urbanization, the wastewater generation or sewage generation is continuously increasing, and that exceeds the limit of nature, purification limit of the nature. ओके, नेचर कुछ वेस्ट वाटर को अपने आप ही प्यूरिफाई कर देती है, लेकिन दैट लिमिट has been exceeded due to the excess amount of sewage generation. The excess nutrient that enter in any water bodies, or due to the excess nutrients, the water body become enriched in the nutrient content, and this condition known as eutrophication. Okay, so eutrophication क्या होता है? Eutrophication is a process of a water body becoming enriched with the minerals. कौन कौन से minerals? Mainly the nitrogen and phosphorus, and nutrient which create the excessive growth of the algae in the water bodies, and the excessive growth of algae known as algal bloom. Okay, and the algal bloom, when the generation of algal bloom take place on the water body like on lake, on a pond, they create the oxygen deficient condition, and this oxygen deficient condition is harmful for the living beings, water animals. So in this graph, you can see the wastewater generation volume in billion cubic meter. The wastewater generation scenario is given from 2015 to 2050. Okay, ये 35 साल का प्रेडिक्शन दिया गया कि 15 में कितना जनरेशन था और 50 तक कितना जनरेशन होगा. सो आप इस ग्राफ में देख सकते हैं कि द मैक्सिमम वेस्ट वाटर वॉल्यूम इन एशियन कॉन्टिनेंट. ओके, and the volume is continuously increasing from 15 to 2050. Here you can see. But in other continents like Latin America, North America, Sub-Saharan Africa, Europe, Middle East, and North Africa and Oceania, in all the continents, the volume of wastewater is almost constant up to 2050. Now the global status of wastewater or sewage. So it is estimated that 380 billion cubic meter of wastewater is generated annually across the globe. Okay, this is very important. 380 billion cubic meter, and 1 cubic meter is equal to 1000 liter. कई बार यूनिट कन्वर्जन में ये सब पूछ लेते हैं, तो इस चीज का ध्यान रखिए. In global regions, the Asian continents generate the largest volume of the wastewater, almost 42% of the global total. Okay, and among the South Asian countries, in South Asian countries, India has the highest wastewater generation. So you can see the scenario of wastewater. The India has a large amount of the or huge volume of the wastewater generation. The high income countries HIC generate 42% of the global wastewater, which is almost twice that of the low income or lower middle income countries. The high income countries collect 82% and treat 74%. जो भी हाई इनकम कंट्रीज है वो जितना भी वेस्ट वाटर जनरेट होता है उसका 82% कलेक्ट कर लेती है तथा 72% का को ट्रीटमेंट कर देती हैं. एंड इन द लो इनकम कंट्रीज, और जो लो इनकम कंट्रीज हैं वो ओनली 9% वेस्ट वाटर को कलेक्ट करती हैं, एंड out of 9% only 4% is properly treated. So you see the how the volume of wastewater varies in the high income countries and low income countries. Now the wastewater generation scenario in the India, that recently in 2021 the CPCP Central Pollution Control Board published a report about the wastewater, okay, and provide the wastewater generation data in the India. So, as per the seventh schedule of the Constitution of the India, seventh schedule, and article is 246. The water is a state subject. Water क्या है? एक state subject है. And it is the responsibility of the state and union territories to ensure the cleanliness and development of rivers within their jurisdiction. Okay. So जो भी रिवर्स और वाटरवेज हैं वो किसी स्टेट में आते हैं, क्योंकि एक रिवर एक स्टेट के कई स्टेट में फ्लो होती है, तो जो उसके स्टेट में जो पैचेज आता है उसकी जिम्मेदारी उसी स्टेट की होती है. So now the rivers are classified according to their BOD levels, and this table is given by the CPCB. So here you can see in India, if the BOD level is more than 30 milligram per liter, these rivers known as severely polluted. Okay, and the number of these stretches in the India is 45. When the BOD ranges from the 20 to 30 milligram per liter, so this is condition known as severely moderately, and there are 16 rivers are in the country. Then after the moderately polluted ranging from 10 to 20, and there is 43 number of these rivers, and the mildly polluted, the BOD range from 6 to 10 milligram per liter, and the number of these rivers are 72. And the clean rivers, when the BOD is 3 to 6 milligram per liter, the number is 175. So these data in 2018 given by the CPCB. Now the wastewater generation scenario or sewage generation scenario in the urban areas in the country. So this slide is very important. Okay, all the data you have to remember. So first one, here you can see the first one, the sewage generation or wastewater generation in the MLD. This is the unit, million liter per day, okay, or mega liter per day. So this is the total amount of wastewater or sewage generation, 72,368 million liter per day. Okay, or here you can see the maximum sewage generation in India by the Maharashtra, followed by UP and Tamil Nadu. So महाराष्ट्र में सबसे ज्यादा वेस्ट वाटर जनरेशन होता है, उसके बाद में यूपी में और उसके बाद में तमिलनाडु में. द नेक्स्ट वन इज द ट्रीटमेंट इंस्टॉल्ड कैपेसिटी, कि इंडिया में है वो ट्रीटमेंट के लिए कितनी इंस्टॉल्ड कैपेसिटी है. सो देर इज ओनली 31,841, मिलियन लीटर पर डे की कैपेसिटी इंडिया में इंस्टॉल्ड है, एंड द मैक्सिमम इंस्टॉल्ड कैपेसिटी इज अवेलेबल इन द महाराष्ट्र फॉलोड बाय गुजरात एंड यूपी। सो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि जितना भी वेस्ट वाटर जनरेशन होता है 72 का ओनली 43.9% इज ओनली ट्रीटेड। 49 43.9% वेस्ट वाटर का केवल ट्रीटमेंट किया जाता है, ठीक है। देन आफ्टर द प्रपोज्ड कैपेसिटी की गवर्नमेंट ने कितना प्रपोज किया है कि इस साल तक हम इतना कैपेसिटी को डेवलप कर देंगे। सो द प्रपोज कैपेसिटी इज है 4827 मिलियन लीटर पर डे। नाउ द टोटल कैपेसिटी, सो दिस इज द टोटल ऑफ द इंस्टॉल्ड प्लस प्रपोज्ड। ओके, तो इन दोनों का है, आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो इन दोनों का। This is the addition of the installed plus proposed. This one is the 36,668 million liter per day. So the total treatment capacity also observed maximum in the Maharashtra, followed by Gujarat and UP. And what is the installed capacities we already discussed 31,841. But the out of installed, how much is operational? The operational condition is only 26,869 million liter per day. Okay, so actually only 37.5% of the wastewater is only treated in India, and the remaining 62.5% is directly the untreated wastewater directly disposed of into the water bodies. So here you can see in India only 37.5% of the wastewater is properly treated, and remaining 62.5% of untreated wastewater directly released on the land or in the water bodies. Now the estimated water requirement for different usage in the India. So in this diagram you can see there are two bar lines, okay, in different categories. First one is the navy blue, and this one is the sky blue. Okay, so here the navy blue bar indicate the it is water requirement in 2025, and the blue bar indicate the navy blue sky blue bar. This one, the sky blue bar indicate the water requirement in 2015. So here you can see the maximum water requirement will increase in the irrigation sector or for the irrigations. In 2025 there is a 611 billion cubic meter, but it will increase up to 807 billion cubic meter. Likewise, you can see in the increase in the domestic sector, increase in the industrial sector, increase in the power sector, and increase in the other sectors. Now the access of safe drinking water in the India. So, इंडिया में है वो सेफ वाटर का कितना एक्सेस है। सो हम यहाँ ग्राफ में देखते हैं कि 2016 से डेटा है, अब फ्रॉम 2016 से 22। तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि इन 2016 द एक्सेस ऑफ द सेफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, ऐसा वाटर जिसको डायरेक्ट पी सकते हैं जिससे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो। So only 35.7% population have access of safe drinking water. In 2017, you can see the number little bit increased, 36.52. In 18, 37.82. In 19, 40.58%. In 20, 50.66%. In 21, 51.23%, and in 22, 61.51%. So likewise you can see the access of safe drinking water is continuously increasing due to the different government plans and proper management. Now the number of sewage treatment plant under the mission for clean Ganga. ओके, सो मिशन फॉर क्लीन, ये नंबर केवल इसी, द मिशन फॉर क्लीन गंगा, इसी के अंदर में कितने सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट का इंस्टॉलेशन हुआ है इंडिया में, उसी के बारे में है। सो इन 2016, हियर यू कैन सी, दिस इज द 2016 टू द डेटा अप टू 2022. So here you can see in 2016 there is 8 STP sewage treatment plant installed. Then in 17 6, in 18 7, in 19 9, in 2019, in 21 in 9, and in 22 10. So total up to 2022 total 68 sewage treatment were installed, and the installed capacity was 835.8 million liter per day, MLD. So this is the scenario of sewage treatment plant that were installed under the mission for clean Ganga. Now the current technologies and practices that are used for the treatment of urban waste water. So friends, whatever domestic sewage or domestic wastewater we have, so there are two type of processes we are using for the treatment. First one, this is the domestic wastewater discharge. So there are two systems. One is the off-site system and another is the on-site system. तो ऑफ-साइट सिस्टम का मतलब क्या होता है? ऑफ साइट का मतलब होता है कि हम जहां जनरेशन होता है वहां पे उसका ट्रीटमेंट नहीं करते हैं, हम उसको ड्रेन्स पाइप्स की सहायता से एक प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट तक ले जाते हैं और वहां पे उसका ट्रीटमेंट करते हैं। ऑन साइट सिस्टम का मतलब क्या होता है? जहां जनरेशन होता है वहां पे ही उसका ट्रीटमेंट कर देते हैं। अगर किसी घर में वेस्ट वाटर का जनरेशन होता है तो उसका उसी घर के में और घर के आसपास में उसका ट्रीटमेंट कर देते हैं। दैट इज द ऑन साइट सिस्टम। सो ऑफ साइट सिस्टम क्या होता है? हम अपन देखते हैं कि बड़ी बड़ी सिटीज में जो भी वेस्ट वाटर होता है वो ड्रेन्स के माध्यम से और ड्रेन्स के की सहायता से उसको एक पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन तक और वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट तक ले जाता है और प्लांट में उसका प्रॉपर ट्रीटमेंट किया जाता है। वो होता है ऑफ साइड सिस्टम। ठीक है, और घरों में सेप्टिक टैंक होता है, एक पर्टिकुलर डिजाइन सेप्टिक टैंक होता है, उसकी वजह सहायता से हम वेस्ट वाटर का और सीवेज का ट्रीटमेंट करते हैं, तो उसको हम कहते हैं ऑन साइट मैनेजमेंट। Okay, so here you can see in the offsite, first one is the storage, then after transport with the help of sewer network, then finally the treatment of the sewage treatment plant, and finally the disposal of the dry beds and water in water bodies. And on-site system there is a septic tank, periodic transfer of the sludge. If septic tank is completely full, then we remove the solid material and dispose in the landfill site, the fecal sludge and septic treatment, and finally the we dispose of the solid part or other things in the water bodies. So the off site management treatment system in the classified into three category, in three processes: primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment. We will discuss in detail in about all the processes in the coming slides. Okay, now the comparison in the sewage STP. STP means sewage treatment plant. In 2014 and 16. Okay, so here you can see these are the data of 2014 and these are the data of 2020. So the first column represent the number of sewage treatment plant and second one is the capacity of treatment. So here you can see in 2014 the number of operational sewage treatment plant was 522 and the capacity was 18,883 million liter per day, and this number or capacity increase up in 2020. How many sewage treatment plant? 1093 sewage treatment plant installed, and the capacity increase by the 26,869 million liter per day. Likewise also the other things increase. So that finally here you can see the total number of sewage treatment plant was in 2000 were in the 2014 816, the installed capacity 23 1,276 million liter per day. And in 2020, the sewage treatment plant increased by the 1,631 and the installed capacity was 36,668 million liter per day. So here you can see the number and how the capacity is continuously increasing in the India. Now the wastewater treatment. So what do you mean by wastewater treatment? So the wastewater treatment is also known as sewage treatment. Okay. So sewage treatment means it is the removal of impurities from the wastewater or sewage before it reaches to aquifers or natural water bodies of water such as river, lakes, estuaries and oceans. So किसी भी वेस्ट वाटर को वाटर बॉडीज में पहुंचने से पहले प्रॉपर ट्रीट करके करने की प्रोसेस को वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट कहते हैं. Now the types of different treatment plants. So first one is the sewage treatment plant. This sewage treatment plant mainly used for the treatment of the domestic wastewater. The industrial wastewater treatment plant, the name itself tell us it is used for the treatment of the industrial wastewater. Agricultural wastewater, that is used for the agricultural wastewater treatment. And leachate treatment plant, are the special plants that are mainly used for the treatment of leachate. And leachate are generally we receive from the landfill site, okay, or sanitary landfill site. So whatever percolation is coming out from the landfill site, that is treated by these plants. Now what is the status of wastewater management in the India? As we already discussed, the current treatment capacity of India in 2020, according to the 2021 report of CPCB, there is only 27.3% treatment capacity, and the sewage treatment capacity is the 18.6%. Although in India, the sewage treatment capacity higher than the global average. Okay, the global average sewage treatment average is 20%, but it is higher in India. The sewage treatment capacity higher than the global average. Okay, without any specific measures or any other management practices. As per the government statistics, 62.5% of wastewater in urban India remain untreated and partially treated. Okay. Now the wastewater treatment process. So during the treatment of the wastewater, there are many processes. The first one is the preliminary process, followed by primary treatment, followed by the secondary treatment, followed by the tertiary treatment, that is also known as the advanced treatment. Okay, it is also known as the advanced treatment. Then after that, disinfection and solid treatment. Okay, so we will discuss all the steps or stages one by one. So there is a brief discussion about these different processes or steps. So here you can see the first process is the preliminary treatment process. Okay, so preliminary treatment process include the screening, degrading, pre-aeration and flow metering and sampling. सो प्रीलिमिनरी प्रोसेस में क्या होता है कि जो भी वेस्ट वाटर होता है उसमें कोई भी बड़े डिब्रीज होते हैं, लाइक उसमें कोई कपड़ों के टुकड़े आ गए, प्लास्टिक आ गए, कोई लकड़ी के टुकड़े आ गए, बड़े पत्थर आ गए, उन सब को हटाया जाता है इन द प्रीलिमिनरी ट्रीटमेंट. सो दिस इज ए फिजिकल प्रोसेस. सो फॉर दैट वी यूज द screens. Okay, so we use the large screens to remove the big debris. So they remove the rakes, sticks, other debris and protect the pumping and equipment. So they also help to protect the equipments that are used for the other purposes. Then after degreating, they remove the सेटेलेबल इनऑर्गेनिक ग्रिट। ग्रिट मीन्स द स्मॉल पीसेज ऑफ द स्टोन एंड सेंड, उसी को हम क्या कहते हैं, ग्रिट कहते हैं। तो द स्मॉल पीसेज ऑफ स्टोन और जो सेंड होता है उसको रिमूव करने के लिए हम डी ग्रिटिंग का प्रोसेस को काम में लिया जाता है। देन आफ्टर प्री एरेशन, during this process we add some amount of the oxygen in wastewater to reduce the odor. इन प्रीलिमिनरी प्रोसेस में अगर हम एरिएशन करते हैं, ऑक्सीजन ऐड करते हैं, तो वो ओडर को रिड्यूस करने के लिए काम में लेते हैं। देन आफ्टर फ्लोमीटर एंड सैम्पलिंग, दीज आर द डिवाइसेस दैट वी यूज फॉर द मेजरिंग द flow velocity and other things. Then after the second process is the primary treatment. After the preliminary treatment, there is the primary treatment. And in primary treatment, we use the sedimentation and flotation process. Okay. So we remove the settlable organic and inorganic particles. जो भी पार्टिकल सेटलेबल होते हैं मीन्स समवॉट दे आर हैवी, सो दे settled at the bottom of the particular system, and floating debris such as fat, oil and greases, they are removed by this process. So इसके अंदर हम क्या कहते हैं, ऑर्गेनिक इनऑर्गेनिक सेटलेबल पार्टिकल्स और ऑयल, ग्रीस, फेट जो भी वाटर में होता है उसको रिमूव किया जाता है। देन आफ्टर द थर्ड प्रोसेस इज द सेकेंडरी ट्रीटमेंट। सो सेकेंडरी ट्रीटमेंट क्या होता है, जनरली ये बायोलॉजिकल प्रोसेस होता है जिसके अंदर अपन जितना भी ऑर्गेनिक मैटर होता है, ऑर्गेनिक फ्रैक्शंस को रिमूव करते हैं। सो फॉर दिस वी यूज द बायोलॉजिकल ट्रीटमेंट, we go for the sedimentation. So the biological treatment remove the dissolved and remaining colloidal, also known as non-settleable. So जो भी सेटलेबल और जो सेट हो जाते हैं पार्टिकल, उनको हम प्राइमरी ट्रीटमेंट में रिमूव करते हैं, और जो नई सेटल होते हैं उनको हम सेकेंडरी ट्रीटमेंट से रिमूव करते हैं। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड कैन कन्वर्ट द अमोनियम नाइट्रेट टू नाइट्रेट नाइट्रोजन। Okay, the sedimentation process separate the biomass and chemical precipitate from the treated wastewater. जो भी बायोमास होता है वो सेडिमेंटेशन प्रोसेस से रिमूव कर लिया जाता है। Now the fourth process is the tertiary, that is also known as advanced treatment. So in this process we remove the nutrient content and other material that is not properly removed by the secondary treatment. So here we go for the chemical phosphorus removal, biological nutrient removal and multimedia filtration. So in the chemical phosphorus removal, we remove the phosphorus. In nutrient removal, we remove both the nitrogen as well as phosphorus by using the microorganisms, and multimedia filtration remove the additional suspended solid, okay, by using the gravity and pressure filters. The fifth number process is the disinfection. So disinfection process is using for the to kill the pathogens that are responsible for different diseases due to the drinking or contamination of the wastewater. The sixth number process is the solid treatments. For solid treatment, we go for the digestion and disposal. So in digestion, we stabilize the remaining organic matter, reduce the pathogen level, and result in the overall net reduction in the solid. एंड इन डिस्पोजल भी मूव द स्टेबिलाइज सॉलिड, जो भी फाइनली स्टेबिलाइज सॉलिड होता है उसको हम लैंडफिल साइट में मूव कर देते हैं और उसमें डाल देते हैं, उसी को डिस्पोजल कहते हैं। Now the different equipments and techniques are associated with the individual process, okay, or in individual steps. So what are the different equipments? So let us we discuss one by one. So here you can see this one is the preliminary process. In preliminary process, we use screen, grid chamber and skimmers. And what is the nature of preliminary process? So this is the physical process. So what do you mean by skimmers? So in preliminary we use the screening, grid chambers and skimmers. Skimmers क्या होते हैं, जो भी वेस्ट वाटर से ऑयल और अदर जो कोलोइडल पार्टिकल्स होते हैं उनको रिमूव करने के लिए काम में लेते हैं। देन आफ्टर द सेकेंड process is the Primary treatment process. In primary treatment process, we use the sedimentation, flocculation, neutralization, coagulation, and equalization. So we will discuss each and every process in coming slides. And this is also a physical process because here we are not going to use anything. Then after that, secondary process. In secondary process, we are using lagoons, trickling filter, activated sludge process, oxidation ditch, oxidation pond, anaerobic digestion, and rotating biodiscs. So in secondary process, we are using aerobic and anaerobic treatment processes for treatment of the wastewater. And the secondary process is a biochemical process. It is a biological as well as chemical process. And the primary process is both the physical as well as the chemical process because we are using sometimes we are using the coagulants and flocculants for the treatment. So then that's why it is a chemical process and it is also the physical process. The tertiary process, or that is also known advanced process, we are using the evaporation, adsorption, electrodialysis, reverse osmosis. So these are come under the physical process, and when we are go for the ion exchange, this is the chemical process. So likewise here you can see the different equipments using different processes and the nature of treatment. So the preliminary process is the physical process. Okay, this is very important. The primary is physical as well as chemical. The secondary is mainly biological and sometimes also chemical. And tertiary is the physical and rarely chemical process. So now the classification of wastewater treatment process. So this flow diagram is very important. So here you can see the wastewater is treated by the several steps. The first one is the preliminary, second one is the primary treatment, third one is the secondary treatment, and fourth one is the tertiary treatment, that is also known as advanced treatment. Okay, so the preliminary treatment is we are using the coarse screening, grit removal, and comminution. comminution क्या होता है? comminution वो प्रोसेस होती है जिसमें कोई लार्ज पार्टिकल्स होते हैं उनको स्मॉल पार्टिकल्स में तोड़ दिया जाता है. ठीक है, comminution. Then after the screening, in primary treatment, we are go for screening, sedimentation, grit removal, comminution, chemical coagulation, mechanical flocculation, and neutralization. In secondary treatment, there are both the process we are going to use aerobic and anaerobic. The aerobic processes are activated sludge, trickling filter, aerated lagoons, and oxidation ditch. The anaerobic processes are UASB, anaerobic digester, and anaerobic filters. So we will discuss each and every process in the coming slides. Then after the tertiary treatment process, we go for the chemical treatment for the nitrogen and phosphorus. We go for the biological treatment of the nitrogen and phosphorus. Nitrification and denitrification process take place. Then after the advanced treatment processes like use of UV radiation, membrane filtration, ozonation, chlorination, desalinization, fluorization, water softening, advanced oxidation, and adsorption. In membrane filtration, also we using different type of members like nanofiltration, ultrafiltration, microfiltration, and river osmosis. In advanced oxidation, we go for the photocatalysis, phenton-based reactions, ozone-based treatment, and electrochemical oxidation. So this is the flow diagram of the wastewater treatment process. Here you can see this is the effluent or the coming wastewater that is first of all pass through the debris screen. So whatever the coarse material is present there, that is removed here. Okay, by this screen. Then after water enter into the grit removal chamber. Grit means the small pieces of the stones and sand. So whatever stone and sand are present in the wastewater, that is deposited in the bottom of the grit chamber, and this is the removed and sent back to the landfill site. Then after the water enter into the primary clarification. Okay, here the wastewater is separated into the liquid form and solid form. So the solid material that is deposited in the bottom of clarification or clarifier, that is known as sludge. Okay, and the liquid portion is known as sewage, and the solid portion of known the for the wastewater, the liquid portion known as sewage, and the solid organic portion known as sludge. Okay, so sludge is sent to the sludge digester. So here the digestion of sludge take place. Then after the liquid portion enter into the aeration tank where the oxygen is provided to the this liquid portion. So there the oxidation take place. So whatever organic matter present, that is oxidized. Okay. Again the water or liquid enter into the secondary clarification chamber. Here the again the whatever remaining sludge is also removed from by this process, and the remaining sludge goes into the activated sludge process and again enter into the aeration tank, and the some amount also goes into the sludge digestion, and here the digestion of the sludge take place, and that is finally disposed into the landfill after the dewatering. Then after amount the water present again passing through the filter, so anything remain present in the water, that is removed by this filter. Then after water go for the disinfection. So whatever microbes or microorganisms or pathogens are present in the water, they are got killed by the use of disinfection processes, and finally the water released into the water bodies or on the land for irrigation purpose or other purposes. So this is the process of the wastewater treatment. Now the pre-treatment, preliminary treatment. So this is the first process of wastewater treatment, the preliminary treatment. So the what is the objective of this treatment process? The objective is removal of coarse solids and other large molecules present in the raw wastewater. Okay. सो जो भी वाटर इनिशियल में आता है उससे जितने भी लार्ज डिब्रीज और कोर्स मटेरियल को हम रिमूव कर लेते हैं, ताकि ये कोर्स मटेरियल फर्दर जो भी पंपिंग स्टेशन और अदर चेम्बर्स, स्क्रीन्स, सेडिमेंटेशन टैंक, उनकी ऑपरेशन को अफेक्ट न करे. So the preliminary treatment generally include the coarse screening, grit removal chamber and comminution of large objects. So comminution means क्या होता है, जो भी large object होते हैं उनको छोटे छोटे pieces में कट कर दिया जाता है, comminutors होते हैं के द्वारा. In grit chamber the sand particle or stone particles are removed. Okay. At in some most in many the small size wastewater treatment plant, the grit removal is not included in the preliminary treatment process. It is included in the primary treatment process. Comminution, that is the process of reduction of solid material by reducing their size of particles by the process of crushing, grinding, cutting, vibrating and other processes. So here in diagram, you can see this is the incoming raw wastewater, that is first of all passing through this screen. So here screen the large materials removed by this screen, and then the wastewater present into the grit chamber. From the grit chambers, the sand particles and the small stone particles are removed, and the remaining water enter into the primary treatment process. So the primary treatment process, this is the second stage of the wastewater treatment. What is the objective of this process? The objective is to remove of settleable organic and inorganic solids by sedimentation and removal of the material that will float by the skimming. सो इस प्रोसेस के अंदर जो भी ऑयल, ग्रीस और फैटी मटेरियल जो कि वाटर के ऊपर फ्लोट करता है, जिसको हम क्या कहते हैं, स्कम कहते हैं, स्कम, SCUM, स्कम होता है, उसको इस प्रोसेस में रिमूव किया जाता है। ठीक है। तो अंडर द प्राइमरी ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस 25 to 50% of BOD decrease, 50 to 70% of total suspended solid removed, and 65% of oil and grease are removed during the primary treatment process. So these are the very important data. Sometimes the some organic nitrogen, organic phosphorus and heavy metals associated with the solids are also removed during the primary sedimentation, but the colloidal and dissolved constituents are not affected by primary treatment process. The effluent from primary sedimentation unit known as primary effluent. Okay. In many countries, for the wastewater treatment, the primary treatment is the sufficient. In many conditions, they only apply the primary treatment for the wastewater treatment. If the wastewater they use for the irrigate the crop that are not consumed by the humans, in that case, they only apply the primary treatment for the wastewater treatment. Okay. The primary sedimentation tank or clarifiers, they may be round and rectangular and typically having the 3 to 5 meter deep. The depth is 3 to 5 meter and the hydraulic retention time range between 2 to 3 hours. Then after the settled solid that is in the primary sludge, normally removed from the bottom of the tank by the sludge rakes. Okay. And the scum that is swept across the tank surface, that is stick on the tank surface, that is removed by the water jet and by mechanical means, that also pumped to the sludge processing units. So whatever things are present in the primary sludge tank, they are removed, finally go to in the sludge processing units, that may be the primary sludge or scum. Now the concentrated impurities withdraw from the bottom of sedimentation tank, that is known as sludge, and the material that float on the top is known as scum. Okay. तो scum क्या होता है? Oil, grease or fatty material that float on the water known as scum, and the solid material that deposited in the bottom known as sludge. So here you can see the flow diagram of the primary treatment process. These are the screens that remove the large particle. Then after it, water goes into the grit chamber where the sand particles and the stone particles are removed. Then water enter into the sedimentation tank where the settleable particles or settleable material that settle into the bottom, that are removed in the sedimentation technique, and this material known as sludge. The flocculation and coagulation, these both processes are the part of the primary processing. Sometimes they both the processes are used in the primary treatment processes. So the main purpose of these both the processes is to removal or to reduce the turbidity of the water. Turbidity means the turbidity of water is due to the presence of the particulate material in the water. Okay. So the flocculation and coagulation of water wastewater used to remove the suspended solid through the process that destabilize the suspended particle in water solution. So what is the main difference between the flocculation and coagulation? The coagulation is a process that coming together है. Coagulation में क्या होता है, जितने भी particulate matters हैं वो एक जगह आ जाते हैं, वो एक ग्रुप बना लेते हैं, क्लम्प बना लेते हैं, द क्लम्पिंग ऑफ पार्टिकल्स. एंड फ्लोकुलेशन क्या होता है? फ्लोकुलेशन प्रोसेस में जो कोएगुलेटेड पार्टिकल होते हैं, तो ग्रुप होता है पार्टिकल्स का, वो बॉटम में सेटल डाउन हो जाता है. आप जैसा आप फिगर में देख सकते हैं, दिस इज द कंडीशन वेयर द particles are suspended in the any water solution. Okay. When we add the coagulant, so here you can see many particles, they form the group of particles there are group of particles. Okay, then when we go for the flocculant, the group of particles settle down at the bottom. So these are the two processes that is known as coagulation and flocculations. So as we know, in many times we are using many coagulant and flocculant, or in many exams, many times they ask which is the coagulant we use for the wastewater treatment, or which is the most common type of the coagulant. So most common of type of coagulant known as एलम, जो फिटकरी होती है जिसको एल्यूमिनियम सल्फेट कहते हैं, ये यूज में लिया जाता है. सो द फ्लोकुलेशन प्रोसेस क्या होती है, जिसमें जो भी पार्टिकल्स हैं वो बॉटम में सेटल डाउन हो जाते हैं. So mainly the polymeric molecules are often used to facilitate the process of flocculation. Polymeric molecules. Now the examples so the flocculants are classified in the natural and mineral flocculants include the activated silica and polysaccharide. The second one are the synthetic flocculants are polyacrylamide. So these are very important examples. Then after coagulation, the coagulants are classified into the organic coagulants and inorganic coagulants. So the organic coagulants are the best used for the liquid solid suspension. Okay, and the inorganic coagulants, they are effectively, especially effective when they use in the raw water that having the low turbidity. The inorganic coagulants हम कभी यूज करते हैं जब वाटर के अंदर द सस्पेंडेड पार्टिकुलर मैटर बहुत कम अमाउंट में हो. ठीक है. So now the example of organic coagulants. So the cationic organic coagulants are polyamines and poly-DADMACs. Okay, these are the example of cationic coagulants. Then after natural organic coagulants are the melanin, formaldehyde, and tannins. These are the natural coagulants, organic coagulants. Then after inorganic coagulants, so the example of inorganic coagulants are the first one is the aluminium sulfate, that is also known as alum, and this is the most common type of coagulants used for the wastewater treatment. Second one is the aluminium chloride, polyaluminium chloride, and aluminium chlorohydrate, ferric sulfate, and ferrous sulfate, and ferric chloride. These are the inorganic example of inorganic coagulants. So this is the secondary primary treatment process. Here you can see this is the sedimentation tank. Here the or clarifiers. So from here the scum is removed, and whatever the sludge is also removed, and sludge go in the sludge treatment facility and finally dispose into the used as a fertilizer and dispose into the landfill sites. And the remaining that is known as sewage, that is goes into the secondary treatment process. So this is the third process of wastewater treatment, that is known as secondary treatment. So objective of secondary treatment is to remove the residual organic and suspended solid. So इस प्रोसेस के अंदर क्या होता है, जो भी ऑर्गेनिक मैटर होता है उसको रिमूव किया जाता है और ट्रीटमेंट किया जाता है. In many cases, the secondary treatment follow the primary treatment and involve the removal of biodegradable dissolved and colloidal organic matter using the aerobic biological treatment processes. So aerobic biological treatment processes is performed in the presence of oxygen and by the utilizing the aerobic microorganisms, and they convert the organic matter into the CO2, water, and ammonia. During the secondary treatment process, almost 85% of organic matter is removed, okay, from the sewage by making the use of bacteria. The principal treatment technique used in the secondary treatment are the trickling filters and the activated sludge process that we will discuss in the coming slides. Okay, these two important processes that are used in the secondary treatment process. Okay, so several aerobic biological processes are used for the secondary treatment that are differ in what in they are differ in the amount or manner of oxygen supplied, and the rate at which organism decompose the organic matter. So the flow of oxygen and rate of decomposition differ in the different type of the aerobic biological processes. So the biological solid that is removed during the secondary sedimentation tank, they are known secondary or biological sludge. Okay. Sometimes this sludge is combined with the primary sludge for the sludge processing. The common high rate processes include the activated sludge process, trickling filter, or that is also known biofilters, oxidation discharge, and rotatory biological contactors. Okay, so these are the high rate processes used during the secondary treatment process. Sometimes we also use the combination of these two processes when the load of organic matter in very high amount, like the industrial wastewater treatment. The secondary treatment system are classified as aerobic suspended growth treatment and anaerobic suspended growth treatment. So the aerobic suspended growth treatment includes the activated sludge process, aerated lagoons, trickling filter, and aerobic digestion. And the anaerobic suspended growth treatment include the anaerobic filters and fixed film treatment process. So now we discuss all the processes that are we are going to apply in the secondary wastewater treatment process. Okay, so first one is the activated sludge process. First one is the activated sludge process. So activated sludge means the sludge that is enriched with the oxygen and microbes, that is known activated sludge. So in this process, this is a aerobic process, this is a biological wastewater treatment process, okay, where we use the aeration process and a biological floc composed of the bacteria and protozoa. Okay, so this is a biological process, this is a aerobic process, this use the oxygen or we can say aeration and microbes. A layer of microbes that is known as biological floc that is composed of the bacteria and protozoa. It uses the air and microbes to biologically oxidize organic pollutant producing a waste that is known as a sludge or floc containing the oxidizing material. Okay, the activated sludge process is used for the oxidizing or for the decomposition of carbonaceous biological matter. Oxidizing nitrogenous material like ammonium and nitrogen, and removing the nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus from the wastewater. The activated sludge process, there is a dispersed growth reactor, okay, dispersed growth reactor, and the dispersed growth reactor is a aeration tank or basin containing the suspension of wastewater, microorganism, and a mixed liquor. The content of aeration tank are mixed vigorously by the aeration device, which also supply the oxygen and to the biological suspension. So in this figure, you can see this is the aeration tank that is vigorously mixed with the supply of air. Okay, the aeration tank also provide the oxygen to the biological suspension for the decomposition of organic matter. Now the hydraulic retention time in aeration tank usually ranging from 3 to 8 hours, but it may be higher if the load of organic matter content higher, or we can say the BOD level of wastewater is higher, 3 to 8 hours in general. The microorganisms are separated from the liquid by the sedimentation, and the clarified liquid in the sedimentation known as a secondary effluent. Okay, A portion of biological sludge is recycled to the aeration basin to maintain the high mixed liquor suspended solids M MLSS. It is known as high mixed liquor suspended solids level. The remaining portion removed from the process and sent to the sludge processing process, okay, so that the level or concentration of microorganism can be maintained. Several other variations are also present of the activated sludge process, such as extended aeration and oxidation ditches. They are working in the common principle. Now the second process is the trickling filter. They are also known as biofilters. Okay, the trickling filter are used to remove the organic matter from the wastewater. द ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर को क्या कहते हैं हम? बायोफिल्टर्स। और वो किस काम में आते हैं? ऑर्गेनिक मैटर को रिमूव करने के लिए। इन द ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर आल्सो ए एरोबिक ट्रीटमेंट सिस्टम दैट यूटिलाइजेज द माइक्रोब्स अटैच्ड टू ए मीडियम। ओके, इसमें क्या होता है कि जो भी माइक्रोब्स होते हैं वो एक मीडियम से अटैच होते हैं, दैट आर यूज्ड टू रिमूव द ऑर्गेनिक मैटर फ्रॉम द वेस्ट वाटर। A trickling filter or biofilter consists of a basin or tower filled with the support media such as stone, plastic and wooden slates. Okay. So इसका जो बायोफिल्टर होता है इसके अंदर स्टोन होते हैं, प्लास्टिक के पार्ट्स होते हैं और वुडन स्लेट्स होते हैं जो सपोर्ट मीडिया की तरह काम में करते हैं, जिनके ऊपर माइक्रोब्स अटैच होते हैं फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द ऑर्गेनिक मैटर इन द वेस्ट वाटर। In the trickling filter, we provide the wastewater either continuously or intermittently over the medium. The microorganism become attached to the media, form a biological layer or mixed film. Here you can see this is a diagram of the trickling filter. Okay, here from the air is passed through this system. Okay, so whatever microorganism present, they actively work to degrade the organic matter. The organic matter in wastewater diffuse into the film where it is metabolized. The oxygen normally supplied to the film by the natural flow of air or either by up and down throw. हम यहाँ पे एयर को बॉटम से भी प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं और फ्रॉम द अप साइड से भी प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। द थिकनेस ऑफ बायोफिल्म इंक्रीजेज एज द न्यू ऑर्गेनिजम्स ग्रो। इसकी सरफेस पे यहाँ पे एक बायोफिल्म का फॉर्मेशन होता है और ये इसकी थिकनेस बढ़ती जाती है एज जब जब नए माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म का डेवलपमेंट होता है। नाउ द नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस इज द रोटेटिंग बायोलॉजिकल कॉन्टेक्टर्स। ओके, आरबीसी, रोटेटिंग बायोलॉजिकल कॉन्टेक्टर। So rotating biological contactor are a fixed film reactor similar to the trickling filter or biofilter in that organisms are attached to the support media. इसमें भी क्या है कि आरबीसी में भी क्या है कि जो भी ऑर्गेनिज्म होते हैं वो सपोर्ट मीडिया पे अटैच रहते हैं। इन द केस ऑफ आरबीसी द सपोर्ट मीडिया इज स्लोली रोटेटिंग डिस्क। इसमें एक डिस्क होता है, उसके ऊपर सारे माइक्रोब्स अटैच होते हैं, ठीक है, और ये डिस्क वो स्लोली रोटेट होती है। एंड दिस इज पार्शियली सबमर्ज इन द फ्लोइंग वेस्ट वाटर ऑफ द रिएक्टर। और इसका कुछ पार्ट है वो वाटर के अंदर सबमर्ज होता है। ऑलमोस्ट 40% part of this rotating disk is submerged in the wastewater. The oxygen is supplied to the attached biofilm from the air by the rotation of the rotating disk. So here you can see in this diagram you can see this is the rotating disk. Okay, this is the some part of this disk is submerged in the water. Almost 40% part is submerged in the water. From this side the water enter and from this side water is discharged. And on the surface of this rotating disk here in this diagram you can see the microbes or biofilm is fixed.
So these microbes, when it rotating, the amount of air oxygen present in the atmosphere, that is due to the turbulence, they are mixed with the wastewater, and the biofilm that present on the surface of this rotating disk, that degrade the organic matter present into the wastewater, and the treated water is discharged from the another side of the treatment tank. Now the next process is the aerated lagoons. Okay, the aerated lagoons, also known as a aerated pond, they are the simple wastewater treatment system consisting of the pond with artificial aeration to promote the biological oxidation of wastewater. Okay, so lagooning क्या होती है? Lagooning describes the process of placing the effluent in a shallow impermeable water basin to allow the degradation of organic matter. This type of system, mainly the aerated lagoons, mainly used for the wastewater that having the low organic content. Okay, so here you can see this is very important. So the organic wastewater that having the low organic content can be used for the aerated lagoons. The cleaning of the effluents take place as a result of bacterial action, algae and aquatic vegetation. Okay, so the oxygenation for bacterial oxidation organics come from the photosynthesis of the algae. तो इस प्रोसेस में क्या है कि बैक्टीरिया के ऑक्सीडेशन के जो ऑक्सीजन है वो जो भी एल्गी हैं वो फोटोसिंथेसिस के द्वारा ऑक्सीजन प्रोडक्शन करते हैं, और दिस ऑक्सीजन इज यूज्ड बाय द bacteria, and whatever CO2 is released by the decomposition, that is used by the algae, and the excess biomass and other settlable. So the excess biomass and other settlable are treated by anaerobic bacteria at the bottom. So जो भी settlable particles हैं जो settle down हो जाते हैं bottom में, वो anaerobic bacteria के द्वारा उनका treatment होता है. So here you can see the types of lagoons. Basically there are two type of lagoons. First one is the suspension mixed lagoon, and the second one is the facultative lagoons. Okay, in this the suspension mixed lagoon, the less energy is provided by the aeration equipments, and then facultative lagoons, the insufficient energy is provided. Okay, the biodegradable solid in settle in the sludge, settles into the in the sludge, settle sludge, then degrade in the anaerobic lagoons. Okay, so the sludge is degraded by the under the anaerobic condition by the bacteria. So here in figure you can see there is a rotating disc, okay, that continuously mix the oxygen with the wastewater. So these oxygen helpful for the proper decomposition of organic matter in the wastewater. Here you can see this is a aerated pond or aerated lagoon. From in this side the wastewater is enter, and from this direction the wastewater is discharged. Here you can see there are two layers. The upper layer, this is a aerobic layer, and the below layer is a anaerobic layer. So this layer is aerobic due to the continuous mixing of oxygen from the surface, and due to the sunlight, algal go for the photosynthesis, provide the oxygen to the bacteria, and bacteria use this oxygen and decompose the organic matter and release the CO2, and this CO2 is again used by the algae for their development. So likewise, the whatever organics are present in the wastewater, they are treated under the aerated lagoons. Now the next process is the upflow anaerobic sludge blanket, UASB. Okay, so this is a very important process. So the name of this process itself tell about this process. Okay, इसके नाम से हमें काफी पता चल जाता है. upflow. upflow means इस प्रोसेस में जो वेस्ट वाटर होता है वो बॉटम टू अप साइड, टॉप साइड की ओर फ्लो किया जाता है. एनारोबिक मींस दिस इज ए एनारोबिक प्रोसेस. स्लज ब्लैंकेट मींस इसमें जो भी स्लज पोर्शन होता है वो एक ब्लैंकेट फॉर्मेशन कर लेता है. ठीक है, तो अपफ्लो एनारोबिक स्लज ब्लैंकेट, दिस इज द नेम ऑफ प्रोसेस. सो नाउ इट इज ए anaerobic digestion process. This process using the methanogenic bacteria, and the methanogenic bacteria produce the methagens methane gas by using the organic matter under the anaerobic condition. Okay, in the UASB process, the sludge forming a blanket that which is suspended in the tank. The wastewater flow upward. Here you can see the wastewater flow upward from upward to bottom to upward direction through the blanket and the process by the anaerobic microorganisms. The upward flow combined with the settling action or gravity suspend with blanket with the add of flocculants. Sometimes we also add the flocculating agents that suspend the suspended particles. The blanket begin to reach maturity around 3 months, and this blanket matured in almost in 3 months. So here you can see the wastewater is a flow from bottom to top. Okay, and these are the suspended layer of the sludge. So by which layer the air is passing through this layer, and these are the organisms that degrade methanogens that degrade the sludge in the anaerobic condition and producing the methane gas and carbon dioxide gas that is collected and used for the many purposes. Now the different type of methods, okay, their contact mechanism and decomposition. The how we can say decomposition or what is the condition either aerobic or anaerobic, and contact mechanism means how the bacteria are present are located in the process, either they are suspended or either they are attached to a media. So let us discuss one by one. The in trickling filter, it is a attached growth mechanism and this is a aerobic process. The rotating disc contactor RBC, this is a attached growth. We know on the rotating disc there are bacteria are attached to attaching growth. This is aerobic process. The activated sludge name itself tell activated means this is a aerobic process and there is a suspended growth of the bacteria. Then after the oxidation pond, here this is the suspended growth and aerobic process. Then after septic tank, there is also suspended growth of bacteria and this one is the anaerobic process. Then after IMHOP tank, there is also the suspended growth of bacteria and this is also an anaerobic process. The next one is the stabilization pond. This is very important. The stabilization pond, this is a use both the it may be both aerobic as well as an anaerobic process. The stabilization pond. Now the different type of technologies and their number in the India with the sewage treatment plants. So here you can see the activated sludge processes. They are the conventional type process and the number in throughout the India there is 321. The extended aeration, this is a advanced process and number is 30 across the country. The fluidized aerobic bed reactor, it is a advanced process and their number is 21. The moving bed biofilm reactor, this is also an advanced process, number is 201. The oxidation pond, this is a natural process and number is 61. The sequencing batch reactor is a conventional process, number is 490. The upflow anaerobic sludge blanket USB is a advanced process and number is 76. The waste stabilization pond WSP is natural process and number is 67. So total number of different type of the waste treatment techniques is 364 according to the CPCB. So now the tertiary process, the tertiary wastewater treatment process, it is also known as advanced wastewater treatment process. So this process generally used for the removal of nitrogen, phosphorus, additional suspended solid, refractory organics, heavy metals and dissolved solids from the wastewater. In general, we can say this process is used for the removal of the nutrients from the wastewater. Okay. Because advanced treatment facility follow the high rate secondary treatment. The high rate secondary treatment means क्या होता है, हम एक साथ दो दो प्रोसेस को कॉम्बिनेशन में यूज करते हैं और उसी को हम हाई रेट सेकेंडरी ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस कहते हैं, ठीक है. एंड द हाई रेट सेकेंडरी ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस sometime also known as tertiary treatment. Okay, now there are different type of processes under the tertiary treatment. Likewise, first one is the solid removal, biological nitrogen removal, biological phosphorus removal, disinfection, ion exchange, and membrane process. Then after disinfection also further classified, and disinfection is carried out by the chlorination through the UV radiation and ozonation. Okay, so here you can see the different processes like the ammonia, the atmospheric nitrogen that is converted into the ammonia by the nitrogen fixation. When the ammonia is converted into nitrite and nitrite converted into nitrate, this form is known as nitrification. Okay, when the nitrate is converted into the nitrous oxide or nitric oxide, this process is known as denitrification. So likewise, there is various variations or formation process of the nitrogen. So first one is the UV radiation. So the UV radiation of 250 to 270 nanometer wavelength are used to inactive the microorganism from the wastewater. Okay, they can kill the bacteria, virus and other pathogen. They change their genetic structure. There is no chemical we are going to use in the UV radiation process, and it is more rapid process. Then after that, chlorination process. In chlorination process, we are using the two forms of chlorine. First one क्या है? Chlorine gas, and the second process is the hypochlorite tablet. Okay. When the chlorine react with water, when the chlorine react with H2O, it forms HOCl. Okay. So there is a hypochlorite ion OCl ion that is kill the bacteria present in the wastewater. Okay, it is toxic for the bacterial species. So what are the dosage of the chlorine? So in generally we are using 5 to 15 milligram per liter of the chlorine for the disinfection. And what is the contact time? General contact time is 30 minutes, or we can say half hour. And but in the advanced processes, the contact time may reach up to 120 minutes, means up to 2 hours. Now the ozonation process is used for the disinfection. It produces the free radicals that kill the bacteria or other pathogens. Okay. The next one is the ion exchange process. The ion exchange process is used to exchange the ions. Suppose there is a toxic ion in the wastewater. Suppose there is a chromium, Cr, chromium ion in the wastewater. So we can remove the chromium with the help of other metal or other ions that is not harmful for the living beings. Okay, so this type process mainly used for the domestic wastewater softening. Now the membrane process. Okay, so we are using many type of membranes like the microfiltration, ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, and reverse osmosis for the wastewater treatment. So the microfiltration, in microfiltration process, the pore size of filter is 0.01 to 12 micrometer. They are capable to remove the bacteria and macromolecules. In ultrafiltration, in ultrafiltration useful for the removal of the organic molecules, bacteria, viruses and other molecules having the weight more than 800 Dalton. The pore size of ultrafiltration is ranging from 0.002 to 0.03 micrometer. Then after the nanofiltration, this allows the movement of some ions such as sodium and potassium to pass, but reject the higher proportion of Divalent ions such as calcium and magnesium means nanofiltration pass the monovalent ion like potassium and sodium, but it rejects the passing of calcium and magnesium. The pore size is from 0.01 to 0.01 micrometer. They are effective in removing of color forming organic compounds. Then next one is the reverse osmosis. They are reject the monovalent ions and organics of molecular weight more than 50 Dalton. The pore size is less than 0.002 micrometer, used for the desalinization of seawater. Now the differences in all four processes. So their pore size, their impurities remove and they are not able to remove, such as like the microfiltration. Here you can see the microfiltration process, the pore size is 0.1 to 10 micrometer. Okay, they are useful for the removal of bacteria and suspended solid, but they are not able to remove the virus, organic matter and mineral salts. The ultrafiltration process, the pore size is 0.01 to zero point 0.1 micrometer. They remove the virus, bacteria and suspended solid, but they are not able to remove some viruses, organic matter and mineral salts. In nanofiltration, the size is 0.001 to zero point 0.01 micrometer. Most viruses, organic matter, salt that create the hard water are we able to remove, but some mineral salt, including sodium chloride, and some viruses they are not able to remove. And the last one is the reverse osmosis. The size is 0.0001 micrometer. All organic compound, all viruses, and most minerals are removed. Only the trace amount of metals are not removed by the reverse osmosis. Now the solid processing. Okay. So whatever solid we receive, solid and the solid material that we receive through the process of wastewater treatment, that is known as sludge. Okay. So during the wastewater treatment process, during the during both primary and secondary treatment we receive the sludge. Okay. And the processing of sludge is known as solid processing. So from the primary settling tank and from the secondary settling tank, we receive the sludge. And this sludge is treated by the using of microorganisms that degrade the organic material present in the solids, and they produce the methane, water, and carbon monoxide by the degradation. So digestion results in 90% reduction of the pathogen. Okay, इससे क्या होगा 90% reduction of the pathogen, and they producing a wet soil like material, wet or soil like material that is known as biosolids, and the biosolids contain 95 to 97% of water. And to remove the water from biosolids, there are some filter press and centrifuge processes that are used to remove the water. After removing the water, these solids material sent to the landfills and other facilities for the proper disposal. Now the on-site treatment process. So friends, अब तक हमने ऑफ साइट ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस के बारे में डिस्कस किया है. ऑफ साइट ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस मीन्स जो भी वेस्ट वाटर प्रोडक्शन होता है उसको हम ड्रेन और सीवर पाइप की वजह से ट्रीटमेंट फैसिलिटी तक ले जाते हैं और वहाँ पे उसका ट्रीटमेंट करते हैं. बट इन द ऑन साइट ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस, जहाँ पे वेस्ट वाटर का प्रोडक्शन होता है, सीवेज का प्रोडक्शन होता है, वहाँ पे ही उसका ऑन साइट पे हम मैनेजमेंट करते हैं. सो लेट अस वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द ऑन साइट ट्रीटमेंट सिस्टम. सो इन इंडिया, almost 60% of the population is dependent on the on-site sewage management system. The on-site sewage treatment system treat the sewage within the premises of its generation and also known as non-sewered sanitation. ओके, द कन्वेंशनल सेप्टिक टैंक। सेप्टिक टैंक क्या होता है? जो हमारे घर में टॉयलेट से जो टैंक होता है उसको हम सेप्टिक टैंक कहते हैं। सो द कन्वेंशनल सेप्टिक टैंक विद द सोकिंग ऑप्शन लाइक द सोक पिट and dispersion trenches in India is the most commonly used on-site sewage treatment system. ओके, सो कई बार एग्जाम में पूछा था कि इंडिया में कौन सा ऑन साइट सीवेज वेस्ट ट्रीटमेंट सिस्टम यूज में लिया जाता है? सो कन्वेंशनल सेप्टिक टैंक। सो द कन्वेंशनल सेप्टिक टैंक इज buried in the soil. Okay, so there is a chamber that is buried in the soil and that store the domestic sewage and partially treat it under the anaerobic condition because there is no oxygen supply. So under this septic tank there is the anaerobic condition, and under the anaerobic condition the bacteria degrade the organic carbon and produce the methane and other gases. So this is a diagram of the septic tank. Here you can see this is the inlet and this is the outlet. So there are two chambers. Okay, here you can see this is chamber number 1 and this is the chamber number 2. In chamber number 1 mein, when the waste or sludge enter in this chamber, so the solid material that is deposited on the bottom of this chamber and that is decomposed with the help of the anaerobic bacteria, and the scum is developed on the surface of the water. When the sedimentation process take place, after the decomposition process, the water, or we can say excess water, is passed through the outlet into the drain system. So in septic tank the solid settled and digest anaerobically, okay, and they producing the methane and other gases. The standard septic tank having the 2 chambers, but in India at many locations there are 3 chambers also present. The most of the treatment take place in the first chamber. जो भी मेन ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस और मेन डिकम्पोजिशन होता है वो फर्स्ट चेंबर में हो जाता है, ठीक है। सो ए वेल मैंने सेप्टिक टैंक रिमूव up to 50 to 60% of biological load, or we can say they degrade the 50 to 60% of the BOD or organic load of the sewage. So again this is very important. Sometime they in exam they ask how much load, so 50 to 60% load of biological load of sewage. So these pits may be any shape, regular shape, circular and square shape. These are the most common in the India. Now the different processes and their detention time. Okay, so first one is the grid chamber and the detention time is 30 second to 60 second. Then after the primary sedimentation process 2 to 2.5 hours. Then after the activated sludge process 2 to 4 hours. Then after the septic tank 12 to 36 hours. Next one is the sludge digestion 20 to 30 days. And the last one is the oxidation pond 2 to 6 weeks. Now the governmental programs. So under the Swachh Bharat Mission 2, the government of India moved its emphasis on the management of solid waste, sludge and grey water. Grey water क्या होता है? Grey water that is contaminated water with the sewage water. Okay, और sewage water को हम grey water कहते हैं. So the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, MOHUA, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, set some specification for the cities like ODF plus, ODF plus plus and water plus classification for the cities. Here the ODF means open defecation free status. Open defecation free. The sewage and septage management initiative were started by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs under the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, अमृत मिशन। तो अमृत मिशन के अंडर में इस मिनिस्ट्री के द्वारा सीवेज और सेप्टेज मैनेजमेंट के इनिशिएटिव स्टार्ट किए गए। सो ODF मीन्स क्या होता है? ODF मीन्स ओपन डेफिकेशन फ्री। सो मीन्स होता है एनी सिटी और वार्ड नोटिफाइड एज ODF सिटी इफ एनी पॉइंट ऑफ डे नॉट ए सिंगल पर्सन इज फाउंड डेफिकेटिंग इन द ओपन। इसका मतलब है किसी भी सिटी में किसी दिन के किसी टाइम पे एक सिंगल आदमी भी खुले में शौच करते हुए नहीं पाया गया। ठीक है। एंड ODF प्लस मीन्स at any point of the day not a single person found defecating or urinating in the open and all the community and public toilet are functioning properly and well maintained। ठीक है। ODF स्टेटस उन सिटीज को दिया जाएगा जहां पे एक भी आदमी दिन के किसी भी टाइम पे खुले में शौच करते हुए नहीं पाया जाएगा, साथ ही वहाँ के सब शौचालय हैं वो प्रॉपर फंक्शनल हो तथा प्रॉपरली मेंटेन्ड हो। Then after the ODF plus plus status, when the fecal, sludge, septage and sewage is safely managed and treated with no discharge or dumping on untreated fecal, sludge, septage or sewage in drain, water bodies and open area। इसका मतलब है कि किसी भी सिटी में जो भी सीवेज, स्लज एंड सेप्टेज मटेरियल है वो प्रॉपरली कलेक्ट होता है, प्रॉपरली ट्रीट होता है एंड दे आर नॉट डायरेक्टली released into the water bodies and in open area. So they city are certified as ODF plus plus. Then after the water plus, so water plus cities focus on the collection, transportation, treatment and reuse of both used water and fecal sludge for the prevention of environmental pollution. So these cities are given water plus status. Now the policy and legal regulations related to the urban wastewater management. So these are the some rules and regulations. The first one is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act 1977, the Environment Protection Act 1986, National Environment Policy 2006, National Urban Sanitary Policy 2008, India's National Policy, India's National Water Policy 2012, National Fecal Sludge and Septage Management Policy 2017, the Model Bill for Regulation on Groundwater Development 2016, the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavenger and their Rehabilitation Act 2013, the Coastal Regulation Zone Notification, the National Water Mission, the National Water Quality Monitoring Program, the Ganga Action Plan. The Ganga Action Plan Stage 1 started in 1985 and Stage 2 started in 1993. The National River Conservation Plan, National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem in 2015, National Urban Sanitation Policy 2008, National Gange Program launched in 2015, Swachh Bharat Mission from 14 to 19, Amrut Mission from 15 to 2023, and the Smart City Initiative from 2017 to 2023. Now the government agency is responsible for urban wastewater management in India. In India, there are three levels of the urban waste management. First one is the national level, second one is the state level, and third is the city level. So here national level you can see the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Central Public Health and Environmental Engineering Organization, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Central Pollution Control Board, the Ministry of Water Resource, River Development and Gange Rejuvenation, and National River Conservation Directorate. These are work at the national level, and state level, the State Urban Development Department, Public Health Engineering Department, Water Supply and Sanitation Board, State Water Supply and Drainage Board, and State Pollution Control Board. These agencies working at state level. At city level, the Urban Local Body and District Pollution Control Board, they are working at city level for the wastewater management. Now the different diseases or infectious agents are present in the wastewater. So they are classified in different category like bacterial, protozoan, helminthes, and viruses. So here you can say the bacteria, these are the bacterial category of different organisms and the responsible diseases. These are the category of protozoa, these are the different protozoa, and these are the associated disease. Then after this is the helminthes, these are the helminthes species, and these are the associated disease. Then after viruses, this is the virus category, these are the different viruses and the associated disease. So you read all of them carefully. So friends, now we are going to discuss some important questions and some questions that are also asked in the previously exams related to the CPCB and state pollution control boards. So the first question, biological oxygen demand is a standard criteria for. So biological oxygen demand क्या होती है? It is a amount of oxygen required for the degradation of the organic material that present in the water. Okay, so measure the oxygen level in blood. So not related to the blood. So wrong answer. Second is computing oxygen level in the forest ecosystem. No, it is related to the aquatic system. So that's why it is wrong. Third one is the pollution assay in aquatic ecosystem. Yes, right. And fourth one, assessing oxygen level in high altitude regions. Again, it is wrong. So the right answer is the pollution assay in the aquatic system or water bodies. Now the second question. Which state government announced the State Treated Wastewater Policy 2017 to promote the recycling and reuse of treated sewage for non-potable uses? Non-potable means non-drinking यूज ओके इस नॉन पोर्टेबल मीन्स इसको कोई ड्रिंकिंग पर्पज के लिए यूज नहीं लिया जाएगा मेनली दे यूज फॉर द इरिगेशन पर्पज एंड दे इरिगेट ओनली दोज क्रॉप्स विच आर नॉट कंज्यूम्ड बाय द humans. So the right answer is the Punjab launched the state treated wastewater policy in 2017. Now the next question. What is the most common used coagulants? So there are many category of coagulants, organic as well as inorganic. So I already told you that alum, that is aluminum sulfate, is most common coagulant that are used for the wastewater treatment. So right answer is the alum. So in the options, there are four options: the copper sulfate, bleaching powder, lime, and alum. So the copper sulfate is mainly used for the as a fungicide, algicide, root killer, and also used as a antimicrobial. Okay, it is generally used for the controlling the algal growth in the water bodies. Okay, and the copper sulfate also used in the filling solution and the Benedict solution formulations. Then after the bleaching powder, the formula of bleaching powder is CaClO2. Okay, CaClO2. This is the formula of bleaching powder. This is a pale yellowish powder. This is a strong oxidizing agent, and this is used for disinfection and disinfectant using or for the disinfecting the water. Now the lime. It is a calcium containing organic mineral that is generally treat the wastewater and used as a water softening. And then the last one is the alum. It is a potassium alum widely used as a alum. The potassium alum is used in the leather tanning or as used as a flocculant in the water for water purification in the wastewater treatment process. The next question. In rotating biological contactors RBC, the rotating disk is submerged. How much percent of rotating disk is submerged in the wastewater? We already discussed almost 40%. So right answer is 40% is submerged in the wastewater. So this is the wastewater, or only the 40% part is submerged in the wastewater. Next question. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू फॉर द ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर? सो ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर क्या होता है? ट्रिकलिंग फिल्टर एक एरोबिक प्रोसेस है, ये सेकेंडरी ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस है. So let us check the option. It is more difficult to dewater than the activated sludge. It is bulky. It has comparatively low concentration of sludge solid, and it has comparatively low sludge volume index. So the right answer is fourth one. It has comparatively low sludge volume index, SVI, and the optimum range of SVI is from 80 to 120 ml per gram. The next, for detection of nitrate in sewage, the color may be developed by the adding of potassium permanganate, wrong answer. Sulfuric acid and naphthalene, wrong answer. The phenol disulfuric acid and potassium hydroxide, this is the right. So the phenol disulfuric acid and potassium hydroxide used for the color development for the detection of nitrate in sewage. Now the next question. The typical steps in the conventional wastewater treatment follow as. So which sequence is the correct regarding the conventional wastewater treatment? तो wastewater treatment में सबसे पहले क्या होता है? स्क्रीनिंग. स्क्रीनिंग में क्या होता है? हम बड़े भी जो भी कोर्स पार्टिकल हैं उनको रिमूव करते हैं. उसके बाद में सेडिमेंटेशन, जो भी स्लज है उसको रिमूव कर लेते हैं. उसके बाद में एयर प्रोवाइड करते हैं, तो एरोबिक ट्रीटमेंट. देन आफ्टर फाइनली डिसइंफेक्शन एंड डिस्चार्ज. सो द राइट आंसर इज द fourth one. First one is the screening, sedimentation, aerobic oxidation, disinfection and discharge. The next question. In the activated sludge process, the aeration is continuous till stability. The aeration is done with the admixture of previously aerated sludge. The sludge is activated by constant stirring and water is removed by the centrifugal action. So the right answer is the aeration is done with the admixture of previously aerated sludge. इसमें क्या होता है? जो sludge का प्रोसेस होने के बाद में उसको वापस से डाइवर्ट कर दिया जाता है उसी टैंक में. ओके, फॉर एरेशन एंड अदर पर्पजेज. नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन इज द activated sludge process is an example of. Okay, so we already discussed activated sludge is a aerobic process. There is a suspended growth of microbes. So the right answer is the fourth one, aerobic and suspended growth process. The minimum diameter of sewer to be adopted. So the right answer is the 15 centimeter pipe are used for the sewer in India. In practice, the flow velocity adopted for the design of grid chamber is. So for the grid chamber, the right flow velocity is the 0.025 to 0.3 meter per second. 0.025 to 0.3 meter per second. Next one is the average temperature of sewage in India. कितना होता है? So the right answer is the 20 degree is the average temperature of sewage in India. The next one, the first stage of natural process of sludge digestion. Okay, so sludge digestion की जो first process क्या होती है? Sludge digestion mainly anaerobic process होता है, और anaerobic process में जो first process होती है वो होता है acid fermentation. So the right answer is the acid fermentation. So this is a numerical question. What will be the sludge volume index, SVI, if the 100 ml of sludge is collected in the 30 minutes on dry weight basis 800 milligram? Okay, so the sludge volume index is calculated by this formula. Volume of settled sludge in ml, that is 100, and the ml SS percentage. Okay, mixed liquor suspended solid percentage, so that is present, that is the 800 milligram. Okay, so the milligram is converted into the gram, so 100 divided by, okay, so the SVI is equal to volume of settled sludge, that is 100 ml. Then after ml SS present, this is 800 milligram, they converted into the gram, so the right answer is 125 ml per gram. So let's check the option. So the right answer is fourth one, 125 milliliter per gram. In grid chamber of sewage treatment plant, the flow velocity is 0.15 to 0.3 meter per second. Right answer. Depth is 0.1 to 1.2 meter. This is also right. And the detection time is 1 minute. This is also time. Fourth one is also right. Answer is the all. The next question. Identify the wastewater treatment unit which use both aerobic as well as anaerobic mechanism for the removal of organic matter. So let's check the option. The activated sludge process. This is a aerobic process. So this is wrong answer. Stabilization pond. Then after trickling filter is also aerobic process. So also wrong answer. Oxidation ditch. These are also aerobic process. So the right answer is the stabilization pond. The stabilization pond using the both aerobic and anaerobic mechanism for the decomposition of the organic matter. So right answer is the stabilization pond. Okay. So friends, thank you so much for watching this video. अगले वीडियो में फिर मिलते हैं, तब तक के लिए नमस्कार।